Missing Pet Partnership. This is Kat.
Hi, Kat. This is Barbara Howard. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Thank you so much for calling.
I'm so pleased to be able to, quote unquote, meet you.
Yeah.
And share your story.
Yeah.
And your name, you're Kathy with a K.
Kathy with a K. Kat is a nickname I've had since I was 13.
Right, and it matches what you do.
I know.
How amazing. Kat Albrecht, right?
Yeah,
Albrechtchtt.
HT, correct. And Albrecht is correct. Yeah.
Well, let me give a proper introduction.
Okay.
I have Kat Albrecht, is a police detective turned pet detective and the founder of Missing Pet Partnership, a national nonprofit organization dedicated to reuniting lost pets with their families. And I just love being able to share what you do, Missing Pet Partnership.
Yes.
That's amazing. Now, you're in Seattle, Washington?
Correct.
And it says I have the information I have is Missing Pet Partnership has formed the first ever lost pet search and rescue team and hopes to develop similar teams nationwide. Kat pioneered the cross-application of law enforcement investigative techniques and technologies to solve lost pet investigations and is widely known as an authority on training search dogs to track lost pets. Since 1997, she has trained the majority of all operational pet detectives in the USA, Canada, and even Ireland. Kat and her search dogs have appeared on Animal Planet programs, and articles about her work have appeared in People, Reader's Digest, and Parade. And Kat is the author of 2 books, The Lost Pet Chronicles and Dog Detectives, Train Your Dog to Find Lost Pets. She is currently crafting Bloodhound Love, a romance mystery novel for teens. So I want to start out asking, you're in Seattle, Washington, but do you have other locations in the United States?
You know, we are still considered a startup nonprofit organization. You know, we don't have a paid staff or a facility. We have a training program, so we have trained a lot of pet detectives across the country. Only probably about 15 or 20 that are actually operational, and those people are out. They've developed a side business, and just a couple of them, probably about 5 of them, are full-time pet detectives. Our vision, though, is with the program that we've developed, is to partner with different organizations to develop volunteer teams of resources that go out and search for lost pets. And most recently, we're shifting into the role of finding lost pets in disasters.
Ah, okay. Well, how did you make the transition from being police detective to pet detective? What was it that triggered the desire in you to make that transition?
Yeah, it happened by accident, actually. I was a bloodhound handler, police officer, actually assigned in the detective division at the time, when my bloodhound AJ escaped and was lost in the woods. And the interesting thing is I called up the sheriff's search and rescue team and asked them to come help me look for AJ because, he was gone. I panicked. He was missing. I didn't have any idea which direction he had gone. And they could not come and help me because they are only sanctioned to look for missing people. So I was pretty much on my own, even though I had used AJ to capture some criminals for the sheriff's department, and he had worked a lot of search and rescue cases for that department. So I called my friend, Jeannie, that had a golden retriever that I had helped to train to track people. And we had worked Kea, the golden retriever, on a lot of cases with AJ, and I knew that Kea understood smell this pillowcase and follow the scent trail of the missing person. What I didn't know was, would Kea understand smell the blanket, the stinky blanket of my bloodhound and find my missing dog? But she did. She tracked him down in 20 minutes and found my missing police dog, and that's when I said, I know how to train dogs to find people. Why aren't we training dogs to find lost pets? And we have drug dogs, bomb detection dogs, termite detection dogs. Why don't we have cat detection dogs? And why aren't we going into the community and help people search for lost pets? So God used that experience in my life to change my heart, change my paradigm, and ultimately change my life.
That is so amazing. And one of the things that came to mind when you mentioned it was, I don't know how many years ago, but there was a AKC, I think it was the Whippet that got lost in New York at the airport. Am I right about that?
Yeah, it was a Vivi the Whippet, and it was a show dog that had just competed at the Westminster the dog show in New York, and had escaped at the airport. And they never did find that dog. They did request that I fly out there with my Bloodhound, but at the time I lived in California, and my Bloodhound Chase was just too old to make that type of a trip. So, there is such a need, and there's, like right now, Sandra Bullock's husband, Jesse James' pit bull is missing, so that's all over the news. But, we want to see these services available not just for the cases that make the news, but there are people that love their dogs and cats like family members, and when their pets are missing, you're on your own. The animal shelter doesn't come help you look, and up until now there haven't been any resources designated to help people recover their dogs and cats, and that's what our mission is.
Now, do you go around and ask just in general who would like to learn how to do this, or is there some type of criteria? Does someone have to be eligible to be a pet detective?
Well, when we first launched the program and when we were training individual people that wanted to be trained as pet detectives, there was no criteria. It was just, you would come and take the training course from us. But, again, now we're shifting into more using teams of volunteers, and we're tapping into what's called CERT, C-E-R-T. It stands for Citizens Emergency Response Team. And there are CERT teams in cities across the country. It's a FEMA-approved program. We're testing this out here south of Seattle with a local CERT team to train up existing CERT volunteers that are used in disasters. It prepares people on how to help yourselves and help your neighbors in your community during disasters. And so we're going and using that model more than training individual people. And there are some CERT teams that use teens. And that is one of our intentions, is to involve teenagers in our area, junior high and high schoolers, to become actively involved and volunteer in this effort.
Well, you see it everywhere. There's always a poster somewhere. Someone is looking for a lost pet. It could be at the vet's office. It could be at the pet store. Everywhere you go, someone has a poster of their lost dog or cat or even ferret. It's definitely something that I never thought about, using a bloodhound to find another animal, but it makes perfect sense.
It totally does, and we actually use different breeds of dogs. It doesn't have to be a bloodhound, and we use high-tech equipment. We've used all the forensics and law enforcement applications like search probability theory, deductive reasoning, the analysis of lost pet behaviors. These are all things that already exist in the science of finding missing people. And I was able to pull those into developing a program and apply those towards looking for and finding missing pets, and found that they're remarkably successful. It just amazes me that this hadn't been developed before. It's very similar to what we've done has taken, just like veterinary medicine mirrors the medical treatment for humans, Missing Pet Partnership has taken the science of finding missing people and developing the program to finding lost pets. And we just really believe that this is a needed service.